function, and we need to follow the strictly indentation so that all the statements come under that particular function. And if you want to come out of that function, you need to come back and you need to write your own statement apart from the function statement. And there are built-in functions and user-defined functions are there, and arguments. The value which you are passing to that parameters, that is called argument. This is an example for argument, like this is the function name and you are passing the argument to that particular function. And second one is the parameter. Parameter is a variable name. We are passing the n number of variables, n number of parameters and n number of arguments you can pass to that particular function. And if based on the value, based on the arguments we are passing to that particular parameter, it will execute and it will run that particular program. And return value, a function, it will return any return value, and this return value it can call back to the whichever the calling this particular function. And we can pass the multiple parameters and multiple argument to the function as well. The best example is sum of two numbers. Add two number is the function name, and you are passing the two parameters to that particular function. And some of the restrictions or some of the conditions or some of the rules for defining any function. What are those rules and regulations? DEF is the keyword followed by the function name, and you open bracket and close bracket parenthesis we need to use. And if you the indication of the function end of definition is you need to use the two colons. Okay, the first line is the definition or documentation of that particular function. What is the documentation? Why we need to use this particular function? The brief description of that particular function. Why we are defining? Why we are writing user-defined function in that particular program. Okay, this is the function syntax we already seen in the last class. And calling a function, the function definition is one of the important point, and calling is some other important point. If your function definition is writing the definition is not that much important, you need to call that particular function. How we can call that particular function? User defined function or predefined function, whatever the functions are there. Calling is more, until unless you are not calling that particular function, the function is not going to get executed. Okay, calling a function is just we need to pass that what is the function name, and followed by you can give the arguments to that particular function. You can based on the definition, how many parameters you pass, you can call that particular function. Otherwise, it will throw some error. You might have seen the that particular example. You need to pass the two arguments to that particular function. You only pass only one argument to that function. You might have remembered this example, right? Everyone. These are all things we already discussed in the last class. That's I'm just recapping all these things. What happened in the last class? Pass by value and pass by reference. I gave the example, right? Pass by value and pass by reference. Pass by value printout is the example. There are two independent variables. You can remember like this way. These are pass by value, pass by reference, pass by address is also there in C++. In Python, only pass by reference is there. Just try to see everyone when a parameter is passing these are two independent variables. You come into picture of a pass by reference. The best example is your MOOCs link only. If something happened, something migrated in the MOOCs links, it's going to be reflected to all the colleges which are participating in the MOOCs classes. Okay, this is the best example for pass by reference. Pass by value means what are the things are happening in just uploading a PPTs. Once I uploaded, I can update it myself in my local copy, but it is not reflected in the online. That is also one of the major example for pass by value. Pass by value versus pass by reference. Function overloading is not present in function overloading not present in Python, right? I gave the example for what is function overloading and why function overloading is not there in Python, and how we can achieve the function overloading without. So this is the example for lambda block. When we go for the lambda block, if the code is very less, then and it will long last in short period of time, then we will go for the lambda functions or anonymous blocks. Okay. And filter and map. Filter means if you whatever the list you pass to this pass it to the interrupter, it will take and it will proceed, and whatever the execute file there, it will operate on those things, and it will get the it will print the output. So this is the filter. And map means it will multiply all the things, and we gave the one of the real-time example as supermarket or what supermarket, right? You might have remember, right? Map means it will operate on all the variables. It will throw in an output. Scope of the variables, local variables and global variables. Local variables means the function in that particular any function. If you define one of the variable, the scope of that variable is within the function only. Global variables means entire block, entire program. The scope of that particular variable is entire block. That is called global variables. Local variables means the scope of that particular local variable is getting over once will come out of that loop, that particular function. Okay, now we'll start with the module. Now, Surendra said function means it's a group of statements which we can complete one particular specific task, that is called a function. Then what is a module? Function means group of statements which we can accomplish one specific task, that is called function. Now coming to picture of module, what is a module? Today the agenda of this particular session is what is a module, why we need to use a module, how can you import the module. I can import the module. In that particular module I can import only one function or n number of functions or all functions in that particular module. And after that we can discuss about what is namespacing, why we need to use the namespacing, and some other real-time examples for namespacing as well as the module. Today the agenda of session is this one, modules and namespacing. Now coming to picture of what is a, before I'm going to talk about the what is a module and what is a namespacing, I need to discuss about what is a compiler and what is a interpreter. What is a compiler and what is a interpreter, and why we need to talk about compiler and interpreter, I will explain while I am explaining about the module. Now take the one real-time example. You return one of the program for Fibonacci series, or take one of the example of whether I'll take the input from the keyboard as a year. I can check the whether it is a leap year or not. This is one of the program I return. If it is a compiler, what it will do? If it is an interpreter, what it will do? The compiler will take entire program, whatever you return the entire program, it will take it as input and it will process. Once the process is over, entire program is over, it will display all the errors which are there in that particular program. All the errors which are there in that particular program. The compiler task is this one. Means what happened? Irrespective of how many errors are present in that particular code, it will compile all the code and it will display. If the errors are there, it will display. If the errors are not there, it will generate the executable file. It will generate the executable file. A dot out you are writing, right, in C programming language. It will give that one. Interpreter, what it will do? It will compile the line by line. For example, in the first line itself, you are facing another problem. So it will stop all the lines for execution. It will throw an error. This is the most major difference between the compiler and interpreter. Everyone try to remember, the compiler takes entire program as input, interpreter takes as a single instruction as input. intermediate object code is generated in case of a compiler. No intermediate object, just directly it will throw an error, or directly it will it won't process anything, just it will give the output only. So conditional control statements are executed faster. Conditional control statement executed slower. Why? Because there is no intermediate generation, nothing is going to be here, so it is little bit slower in coming to picture of conditional control statements. But the execution of statement is faster in there in the interpreter, not in compiler side. Memory required more. Why? Because we are going to generate the object code as well. Memory requirement is less in terms of interpreter. Program need not to compile every time. Why? Because you need to remember one point over here. Whenever you want to compile any program, if you done single line of program also, if you done single line of program also, if you try to give the G++ followed by that particular file name or n number of file name, it will check the last timestamp of object file. If there is no change in that particular object file, it is not going to get compiled every time. So the time is going to get saved in that whenever you use in the compile. Every time higher level program is converted into lower level program. Everyone try to remember these 2 points. Everyone try to focusing on these 2 points. Otherwise, you're never going to learn any programming language. Understanding that first you need to know the basic step. You need to know what is a compiler and what is an interpreter. Most of the people will get confused with these two words only. When we need to go for the compiler, how many languages are coming under compiler and how many languages are coming for interpreter. Okay, errors are displayed after entire program is checked. I already discussed about this point, right? Once the execution of entire program is get over, then only the errors is going to displayed. In case of interpreter, only first line you are facing, in first line only you got one particular error, so it will throw an error. After that it won't execute anything. It won't compile, or it won't get executed. So the best example for compiler is C compiler, and example for interpreter is basic, or Java is Python is also interpreter only. Understanding, right? That is why I discuss about what is the difference between compiler and interpreter. In terms of modules also, any queries?
Yes, sir. Actually, you didn't share your screen.
Sorry?
You didn't share your PPT or something material to the students.
Your voice is not audible, sir.
So I make a chart, please see it.
Please come again, sir. I'm not able to see your screen, sir. I'm able to see only one of the screen, ASN WEC college only.
Sir, it's not about your screen. It's not about our screen. Your screen is not sharing to others.
Okay,
PPT
okay, okay.
or
Sorry.
something desktop screen.
Yes. 1 minute only. Okay. Now, sir. Now. Hello. Now. Sir, now.
Yes, sir, it is visible too.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks to bringing notice to me. Okay. If everyone want to note it down, please note it down these points. Compiler takes entire program as input, interpreter takes single instruction as input, intermediate object code is generated, no intermediate object code is generated. Conditional control statements are executed faster. Conditional control statements are executed lesser. If anyone want to note it down, please note it down. I don't have any issue. Like you need to know by end of the session what is compiler, what is the compiler does, and what is the interpreter does. And the example for compiler, C compiler. Example for interpreter is basic or Python programming language. Everyone take it as one task. Everyone take it as one task. Everyone note it down. What are all programming languages come under compiler, and what are the programming language scripting or programming language come under interpreter? Everyone note it down. Please note it down, everyone. The today task is one of the task is what are the languages or scriptings come under compiler, and what are the languages or scripting language or normal languages come under interpreter. Take it as task and come to me, like you can Google it, you will get to know. Okay, now everyone is clear about what is a compiler and what is an interpreter, right? Now, after so many sessions are over, why Surendra talk about now only what is a compiler and what is an interpreter? Before move on to the module, I'm going to explain about one of the important point is, whenever you are defining a n number of variables, whenever you are defining a n number of functions, once they come out of that particular program or that particular block, the definition will gone or the initialization of the variables will gone. Again, if I want to use that particular function or whenever I want to use that particular variables, again I need to open that particular code and I need to call those functions or variables. The scope of the variables will gone once the program is get closed. Now, what is a module? The scope must be present once that particular file is get closed also. Then what we need to do? What we need to do? The best solution for this one is a module. The module is just one particular file. Module is just one particular file. In terms of whenever I'm talking about layman words, this is a file. It contain the n number of functions. It contains the n number of functions. Our file consisting of the Python code. Whenever I want to use that particular file, first what I need to do, I need to import that particular module, then I can use that particular module. I'll give one of the best example for this one, so I move on to the next slides. Before move on to those slides, I will explain about this one. What it gave? SQRT of 16 I gave. Everyone able to my screen, right? Everyone able to see, right? Or can I increase the font size? What it gave? The definition I imported from the math function, and I can able to use that particular function. Now you got to know, right? Everyone, what is the use of the module? So previously I gave the one of the function. which is defined in one of the module. I am not imported that particular module previously. So I directly gave the sqrt and followed by the any one of the integer. Now what error it got thrown? Name sqrt is not defined. Now what is the meaning of this particular error? The function sqrt function is not defined. Means the definition of that function, particular function is not known to the interpreter. What you need to do? The definition of that particular sqrt is present in the math module. math is the module, and I am importing by using the import keyword. And once it got imported from this particular module, just I gave the math dot sqrt and followed by the integer. So it will give the answer, or it will give the output to this particular sqrt function. Now everyone got to know, right? A module is a file consisting of the Python code. A module can define functions, classes, and variable. As of now, we completed functions only. I have not completed classes. So that's why I'm not taking an example as a classes. Now, what is a class and what is a object, and we'll discuss in the later classes. As of now, we'll try to do some of the examples on the by using the functions only. Now everyone got to know, right? Module means one chunk of blocks which contain n number of functions or n number of classes or n number of variables. So if I want to use those functions, classes, and variable, just I can import those functions and those modules, so that I can use all the functions which are there in that particular module. All the functions or classes or variables which are there in that particular module, I can use. Just I can write the one time only. For example, in math classes, n number of functions are there. Math classes, take the example of n number of functions are there. Math, pi, some of the mathematical functions are there. I can import only one time only. I can use n number of times. That is the very, very important feature of that particular module. I can import only one time. I can use n number of times. A module allows you to logically organize your Python code. For example, in the last class I gave one of the example. It means programming or mini project means it's not a single line, it's not a single file. N number of files are there. I will give the one of the best example for this one. N number of files are there. So take the real-time example as your WhatsApp only. Again, WhatsApp message. Sending a file, sending a message, receiving a message, video call, and sending a attached file, and everything is going to get possible in WhatsApp. So we can differentiate each and every functionality as one module. Previously, Surendra said sending option as one of the function, right? So in the sending message also n number of options are there, right? Group of characters you need to type and you need to forward, or a group of images are there we need to forward. For sending the images, one of the function. Sending a text message is one of the options. Sending a icons, one of the option. These are all functions come under one of the module as sending a messages in a WhatsApp. All the sending messages, all the sending functions are placed in one particular folder or one particular file. We can make it as one of the name, that is called a sending a message module. Sending a message module. Whenever it is needed, then only that time only it will get loaded. If it is not needed, it is not going to get loaded. So this is one more advantage of using a module. And whenever you want to debug, it is clearly you get to know we are going to get which module we are going to get problems. So based on the problem, based on the module, you can debug very easily if you use the modules. If you are not going to use the module, you are not going to use the function also, you can complete that particular project, or you can complete that particular task which is given by the customer. But the effective way of writing a program is you can introduce the modules or you can use the functions. Understanding, right? A file containing Python code, for example, example.py is there. For example, example.py is there. The module name of that particular example.py is example. Import example is fine. No need of explicitly writing the import and followed by the import and followed by the example.py is not needed. You can write only example import space and example only. Now we can see this particular example. File name is sample.py. In that particular sample.py, what I have written, this is, you need to think this is entire thing is a module only. def followed by the print function, and this is one of the string we are passing to that particular function, and you get print followed by the hello, and you are passing the parameter to that particular print keyword and return. For example, I am importing this particular module, import, and what is the module name over here? Sample only, there is no py. So import and sample. Now module underscore example dot, why? Because this is here you need to write the sample dot what we need to write? Sample dot print function, and we are passing the this par to the good morning to all. So what output you will get after the end of this particular execution of this program? Hello, good morning to all. Hello, good morning to all. Now everyone got to know, right, how we need to write the simple line also. And one more thing is, everyone try to see this one. For example, control L. Write something. Hello all, welcome to the session. You can write, press F5. Press F5. You can write whatever the name you want. Just like example underscore module dot py, example underscore module dot exe, example dot underscore dot py. So hello all, welcome to the session. Now import example dot underscore, what is that name? Now once I imported this particular module, what it gave? It gave the hello all, welcome to the session. Now again I will give one more time also. Import. One time I imported one more time. What going to happen? You will see. Now what happened? It's not importing one more time. Once it got imported for that particular session, unless you are closing this particular session, it is going to be there, this particular module. You can write one more time also. What's going to happen? We'll see. So it won't give any output. Why? Because it's already imported one time. Once you imported, no point of importing one more time. Understanding, right, everyone? Understanding, right, everyone? So this is the module. Whenever we require, we can import it and we can use it. When we go for the module, before talking about that one, we'll see this one more example for this one. You can use any Python source file as a module by executing as import statement. Import statement in some other Python source file. The syntax for this one, we already seen this particular example. Import and followed by the n number of modules you can give. I gave the one module only till now. You can give n the comma. by separating the comma with the n number of modules. When the interpreter encounters an import statement, it imports the modules if the modules is present in the searched path or current path. See, I blindly gave the import and followed by the module name only, right? The interpreter where it is going to get searched. First, it is going to search the current path, or you can say current path only. Where it will, if it is not found, where it is going to search, you will see in the later slides. As of now, try to see, it is going to search in the current path only. A searched path is a list of directories that the interpreter searches before importing a module. Before importing module, I need to know, right, where it is got located. And one more thing is, whatever you are using the predefined functions, right? Predefined functions, right? Everyone try to see here. Everyone try to see here. Python. These are the predefined modules which are present in the, see, everyone try to see here. These are all modules. Whatever you are using the predefined functions, right? Predefined functions, till now you use n number of predefined functions, right? The definitions of the function definition is going to present in this particular modules. Try to see everyone, how many modules are there here? How many modules are there here? Try to see. See, whenever you are talking about related to calendar, open with IDE. We'll see. See, these are the definitions. See, illegal weekday error, value error. See, these are all things come under my day. See, everyone try to see this one. These are all modules. We are using these everything. Weekend is a function, leave day is a function, and month range is a function. Everything I gave the examples, right? I gave the task to complete at home, right? For each and every predefined functions. You are using the predefined function means definitely the definition must be present in the interpreter side, right? The definitions are already present here. Try to see. Everyone try to see, the definitions are present in the lib folder. The definition, these are all modules these are all Python modules. The definition is already present. Simply you are using the function name, and you are using for your purpose. Understanding, right, everyone? Now you got to know, right? If you give the predefined functions, where it will come from, and what is the definition of that particular function, you can go and check in the lib folder. If anyone want to see the definition of that particular function, you can go and see that particular functions. Understanding, right, everyone? A module is loaded only once, regardless of the number of times it is imported. You already seen one of the example for this particular statement. Once you imported the module, you can import it one more time also. It won't fetch any data. Just simply, it won't get any execute, and it will throw any. It won't import it one more time. It will import it only one time. You already seen one of the example for this particular statement. This prevents the module execution from happening over and over again if multiple imported occurs. Whenever I want to use n number of times that part, see, one module means here I explain about only one function, I return one of the module. But if you see this one, in one particular module, n number of statements are there. If you see this module, n number of modules are there, n number of functions are there. You see, def def, so n number of that particular module. You can import it only one time, you can use. So this prevent the module execution from happening over and over again if the module imported occurs. Understanding, right? Everyone. So now if I import and followed by the module name, import and followed by the module name, it gave use the, I need to explicitly use the, see here what I gave, import math and math dot sqrt followed by the whatever the you can give. So it gave this one. So from math module import sqrt, then followed by the sqrt and followed by the 60. Now what going to happen? From is a keyword. You can use this particular from keyword. We can import one of the function. You already seen, right? I will show you. You already seen, right? One of the module, n number of functions are there. I don't want n number of functions. See, n number of functions are there, right? def followed by the def is there, right? Def means definition of the function. N number of functions are there right here. So I don't want imported all the functions which are present in this particular module. What is this particular module name? Module finder. Module finder is the module. In the module finder, n number of modules are there. I don't want to use the n number of modules. I want to use only one particular function in that particular module. So what is the syntax for that one? I simply what I did, from is a keyword, from math is a module. I am importing one of the functions which is present in this particular module. So that what's going to happen? No point of giving the math.sqrt. No need of giving the math.sqrt. No need of giving the math.sqrt. If you are not providing from and followed by the math keyword and import sqrt, if you write without writing the math dot, definitely it will throw some error. Understanding, right, everyone? So one more important point is, so from math import star. Star means all the functions, all the variables, all the code, all the Python code which is present in the math function, I can import. Star means all the things which are present in that particular module. That time also no need of giving the math.sqrt function. Understanding, right, everyone? From module name, import specific function name or one individual function which is from that particular module. And second one is the from module name followed by the import keyword and followed by the asterisk, means all the functions, all the methods, all the things which are there in this particular module. Everyone understanding, right, this one? Import with renaming. I can import. Why? Because see here everyone try to see here n number of for example here this particular module name is it is becoming like 2 lines of module name is there. So better readability purpose I can rename also. How can I rename that particular? Module in Python programming language? If you try to see import math as M. So import math means I am importing the module math module. So I'm just renaming to M. I just renaming to M. If I want to rename it, what I need to do? I need to use the as keyword and followed by the how I can rename. Like how I can rename by using M, or I can write whatever name I want over here. Whatever name I want, I can write this particular name over here. Import and followed by the module name and as and then followed by the what name you are going to get replaced. What name you are going to get replaced. We have renamed the math module as M. Why? Because I keep it as name as M. This can save us typing time in some cases. See, I told you, right, if the module name is more than 2 lines, the naming convention purpose you need to use a math only. Why? Because mathematical functions are present in that particular math module. So better if you want to write n number of times math, so n number of times, you can save the time also after renaming that particular function. Why? Because you are the only one person renaming that particular module. And important point is, whenever you are importing a module and renaming to that particular module, you must provide the comment over here. You must provide the comment over there. I am replacing or renaming the module math to M. Why? Because until unless you are using that, you are the only one person using that module, that particular module is fine. Some other people will come, if they might have seen this as M, they might have not understand what is M. So they will go that where I imported this particular module. So then only we will get to know. Here it is important to write the comments over here. So we have renamed the math module as M. This save us typing the time in some cases. Note that the name math is not recognized in our scope. Why? Because I already renamed it to M. So what I need to do now? Whenever I want to use the math function, what I need to do now? Hence math.py is invalid and m.pa is the correct implementation. M.pa is the correct implementation. Why? Because I already replaced math to M. So whenever I want to use that particular math function, math modules, I need to use the M dot followed by the function name, not math.py. So you understanding, right, everyone? I can rename the modules also. So uses of the module. Why we need to use the module? We use module to break down large program into small manageable and organized files. I told you, right? Whenever the large program is there, whenever you are talking about, whenever you are creating large projects, whenever you are dealing the large project, make sure your program must be, your program means that your project must be containing n number of files, means n number of modules must be present in your project. Why? Because the maintenance is very easy, the debugging is also very easy. Sometimes the linking problem will come. The headache is with linking problem only. Apart from that one, we need to organize and manageable. We need to break down the large program or large project into different modules. Grouping related code into a module makes the code easy to understand and use. These are the important and uses of the module. Grouping related code into a module makes the, see why? Because you see the math module are related to the math functions, pi, square root and cubical, and everything, the definition is present in the math module. Whenever I want to use, just I need to import and I can use it. It is very simple and I can use it. And if I don't know, I write the entire program in only one particular file. I need to import all the files, all the code which is there in that module. So memory is waste and time is waste, everything is going to get waste. So if you want to logically organize the code, you must go for the modules. Must go for the modules. Locating a module. Locating a module. See, import and followed by the module name I gave, and where it will search, how it will search, and everything is going to will see in this particular slide. So when you import a module, the Python interpreter search for the module in the following sequence. The Python interpreter search in the following sequence. First, where it will search, we already discussed about where it will search. It will search in the current directory. It will search in the current directory or current path. Current directory or current path. If it is not present over there, then it will search the module is not found in the current directory. It will search for the directory in the shell variable. Might be Python environment variables. Those people who use the Unix type of environment, they might have understand that Unix environment. You might have seen this particular word. Setting the environment variables. Setting the environment variables. They might have understand about this one. Take it as task, this one. Everyone note it down. How can I set the environment variables? What are environment variables? What are environment variables, and how we can set the environment variables? So Python, then search the each directory in the shell variable Python path. Python path it will check. If all else, if you are not able to find in that particular path also, then Python checks the default path on Unix. The default path is normally user local lib and followed by the Python. User lib and followed by the. Everyone understand, right? First it will search the current directory, and if it is not present over there, then it will search for the Python path, and then if it is not present, then it will search in the lib and Python location, this particular location. User local lib and Python. Why? Because whenever you install any Python IDE, the file is see, everyone try to see over here. Everyone try to see over here. Local disk and followed by the, it will got created a Python 27 and it will see over here. Everyone try to see over here. These are the modules. Here it is going to get search. Now Python variable. How can I set the Python variables? How can I set the here? Before I am talking about this particular point, if the person might be aware of the Linux operating system and Unix operating system, Linux operating system and Windows operating system, if I want to specify one particular path in Windows operating system, we need to use the backward slash. If it is coming to picture of Linux or Unix operating system, we need to use the forward slash. For traversing from one directory to another directory or defining any one particular path, I need to specify one particular path. In Linux operating system or Unix operating system, we need to use the forward slash. In Windows operating system, we need to use the backward slash. If you try to see here, everyone, this is come under backward slashes. But if you take it as a Linux operating system, it will come under the forward slashes. The Python path is an environment variable consisting of a list of directories. The syntax of Python path is the same as that of the shell variable path. First we need to set the path, then only we need to use those variables in that particular path. So unless you are not going to set, you are not supposed to use. Here is the typical Python path for Windows. Windows is set is the keyword, set is the command and Python path, and you need to set this particular path. Why? Because I am going to search under this particular lib folder, and here is the typical Python path for a Linux system or Unix system, and set followed by the Python path, and you need to mention the path where the Python is located. Now we are going to discuss about the dir function in the Python. Dir function in the Python. The dir built-in function returns a sorted list of strings containing the name defined by the module. Name defined by the module. Everyone try to see here. These are all there, the shortcut names. See, for example, I use that math dot function, everything is there, right? Might be I'll use this one. That particular module name I gave. So it gave the document and name of this particular module and packages we are using module, and these are all functions which are present in C. sqrt function I already used. Tan h, trunk, modef, pi, these are all radius, everything is these are all functions which are there in this particular module. How can I get to know all this module? By using the dir built-in function, return the sorted list of strings containing the name defined by the module. The list containing the names of all the modules, variables and functions that are defined in that particular module. Understanding, right, everyone? For example, math is a module name. In that particular module, what all the things are getting present in that particular module, it is going to fetch and it is going to display what all the functions under there in that particular module. dir followed by the example underscore. So see, everyone try to see here. Everyone able to see my screen, right? Everyone able to see my screen, right? So previously what I gave the example underscore module, simply I gave the only printf statement. I gave the only printf statement. Apart from that one, I didn't give anything. So what it gave? It gave the no function. No function is available in this particular example underscore module. See, this is the package name. These are the default values which are present in that particular module. Now everyone got to know, right, what is the dir function will do? It will display this built-in function, display the list containing the names of all the modules, variables and functions that are defined in that particular module. That are defining that particular module, it is going to define, it is going to list out what are the things which are present in that particular module. Understanding, right, everyone? Reloading a module. Previously what I discussed related to the module, I can import only one time only module. I'm not supposed to import a second time that particular module. For example, after I imported a module, think in this way. For example, module is nothing but a some set of blocks only, right? Everyone agree with me, right? Module means some set of functions or some group of Python code which is placed in one particular place. I'll give name to that particular file name as sample.py or example.py, whatever the things are there. So the sample is the module name or example is the module name. So after importing that particular module, I might have done changes in that particular module. Whatever I imported the module, I done changes in the imported module. It must be reflected in my window where I imported that particular statement. If one time I imported, I am not supposed to import it second time. What's going to happen in this particular scenario? Now everyone understand, right, what is my given requirement? My given requirement is I imported the module. One of the module is math. So once I imported the module, I'm not supposed to import it second time the same module. Why? Because it will come the same only. So I have done some changes in the math module. Whatever imported the module, right? I done some of the changes in that particular module file. The changes are not reflected over here. Now what I need to do? I need to re-import again or reload it again. How can I reload? How can I reload? Now we'll see how can I reload that particular module in a Python programming language. The Python interpreter import a module only once during a session. This makes things more effective. Here in an example to show how this works. Suppose we have the following code in a module named my module. This particular code is present in the my module. Now, if I type the import my module, it will throw this particular output. Again, I type the import of my module. Again, what's going to happen? It won't throw any output. You already seen this example in the previous 10 minutes back, right? Import example underscore module module. Why it didn't give any output? Why? Because we already imported. Where is this one? See, we already imported this module. For one session, we imported this particular module. If I want to import again, what's going to happen? It is not importing again. It will throw. It is not displaying anything on the console. Why? Because it's already imported and this code is got executed. This code is got executed. Whatever the print statement is there, it got executed. Now again, if I want to import, it is not doing anything. That time what we need to do? We can see that our code got executed only once. This goes to say that our module was imported only once. Now, if our module changes during the courses of the program, we would have to reload it again. That time, one way to do this is to restart the interpreter. I need to close that particular interpreter, and again I need to open. Again, I need to open. Instead of doing that one more way we can do. One more way we can reload that particular module. Python provides a neat way of doing this. We can use the reload function inside the IMP module to reload the module. Now, how it is going to possible? Try to see. Now, import IMP. First, once it got imported IMP, then you can try to write the import followed by the module name. Then it got executed one time. Second time, if it got executed, now it is not going any out. And followed by the module name. IMP dot reload dot followed by the name. We'll see whether how it is going to get work. We'll see one more time. By taking the example, we'll try to see. Now, import example underscore module. It's not showing any output. Import IMP. So import example underscore module. It's not giving any output. IMP dot reload followed by the example underscore module. Now what we'll see again. Now, hello all, welcome to the session. Why? Because module, example module from the where it got located, C:C, and this is the Python 27 and followed by the example dot module is present in the Python 25. Now I'm going to reload this particular module. For explicitly reloading this particular module, what we need to do, I need to import the IMP module, and I need to use the IMP followed by the reloading that particular module name for reloading a module. How we got to know, how we need to reload? Everyone got to know, right? How we can reload the module? Everyone got to know, right? Now coming to picture of the namespacing. Before namespacing, now I'll brief summarize 1 or 2 points related to the module. Modules are nothing but a Python file which we can write n number of functions or classes or variables in one particular file name. We can give that particular file name as any one of the name, and that particular file name is the module for that module in a Python. Whenever I want to use that particular file, I need to use the import keyword. I can import only one function also. I can import all the functions also, or I can import the only few of the functions which are present in that particular module. I can import single function which is present in that particular module, or I can import n number of functions which are present in that particular module. So I can import n number of this. At the same time, what is the use of the module? We can arrange the large project into group of modules so that I can easily separate the files. I can easily manage and I can easily decode or debug that particular problem whenever the problem will occur. These are the things which are related to the module. Now coming to picture of the, I can rename the module by using the as keyword, and I can reload the module by using the IMP module. Understanding, right? Till now we discuss about these things. Now we'll discuss about the what is namespacing. What is namespacing? Here the spelling is correct, not correct. NAME, and namespacing. Namespacing. Name also called the identifier. Need to remember the name is also called the identifier. Everyone note it down. What are the rules and regulations for the identifier in Python? Everyone note it down. The task is, what are the rules and regulations for defining a identifier in a Python? This is one of the tasks to you. Also called the identifier is simply as a name given to the object. Object means here is the value. And for assigning a value, for if I want to see, for example, a equal to 3 or a equal to 2. 2 is the object and a is a identifier. Everything in Python is an object. Name is a way to access the underlying object. Now, whenever we are discussing about object-oriented programming language, that time we will discuss about what is the object. As of now, try to remember, object means a equal to 2. For example, a equal to 2. A is a variable name and the value 2 is the object to that particular variable a. For example, when we do an assignment a equal to 2, here 2 is an object stored in a memory and a is a name we associated it with. We can get the address in RAM of same object through the built-in function id. Where this built-in function is located? Where this built-in function is located id? It is there in the lib folder in any one of the module. If any one of the module, it is going to get checked. Let's check it with. What's going to happen? I define a equal to 2 and print id of 2. What is the output of id2? It will give the location of where it got stored. Understanding, right? Where it got stored. Understanding where it got stored means where it got. We can get the address. Address means if the person knows C programming language, I'll give one other example for that one. Ampersand a or ampersand that particular variable name, right? That is the reference to that particular variable, right? Here we can use the ID for that particular reference, so that we will get the location of RAM where it got located, this particular variable. Understanding, right? If you see namespacing, see a equal to 2. Forget about this one. Try to see this one. A equal to 2. After that, what I have done? I incremented only 1. I incremented one time. A equal to a plus 1 means 2 plus 3. The a is now currently I target to 3. So now this object is going to free only. After that, I gave the b equal to 2. Now it is not going to create one more object. It will create whatever object is going to get present. It will use the same object and the variable which are assigned to this particular object. Understanding, right? The advantage of Python, advantage of namespacing in Python is, for example, a equal to 2. After that, I assigned a equal to 3. These two object is going to be free only. Now, whenever I assign a b equal to 2, this object, this variable is pointed to this particular object. This is the effective, this is the efficient, as Python does not have to create a no duplicate object. Here, it is not created any duplicate. Whatever the existing 2 is there, it is going to use that existing object only. This dynamic nature of name binding makes Python powerful. So, this feature makes more powerful the Python programming language. A name could refer to any type of object. See here one more time, a equal to a plus 2 I gave. Here it will create one more object 4, and this a is going to assign to 4. Here I give the c equal to 3. Now that time what is going to happen? C, this particular variable is tagged to this particular object. So this is the effective way of using the memory in Python programming language. To simply put it, namespacing is a collection of names. To simply, you can say, what is a namespacing now? Namespacing now, it's a collection of names which are there in the Python programming language. In Python, you can imagine a namespace is a mapping of every name you have defined to corresponding object. This is a name, this is a name, this is an object, this is the object, corresponding object which are assigning to this particular variable. For example, one more is there, b equal to 2. This b is also assigning to this particular object only. You need to remember this point also. Here the separation is there. Here one more object is there, b equal to 2, and b is also come here. It is also assigning to this particular object only. Mapping of every name you have defined to corresponding object. A namespace containing all the built-in names is created when we start the Python interpreter and exist as long as we does not exist. It is going to be present. So, a namespace containing all the built-in names is created when we start the Python interpreter and exit. This is the same point only. It is going to be long. Whenever we are going to exit, it is going to get present. Understanding, right, everyone? Now, these different namespaces are isolated, means they are separated. Hence, the same namespace that may be exit in different module do not collide. Module can have various functions and classes. A logical namespace is created when a function is called. A logical namespace is created. See, in the function, you created some variable. In the module, we created some other variable. In the built-in namespace, we created some other module. This namespace is different. This namespace is different. This namespace is different. This namespace is different. So, based on the scope also, namespace we can define. Modules can have various functions and classes. Everyone understand, right? Module means it's a collection of functions, it's a collection of classes, it's a collection of variables. A local namespace is created when a function is called. This is the local namespace created when a function is called, which has all the names defined in it. Similarly, in the case with the classes also. Similarly, with the class also. Following diagram may help to clarify this concept. This particular diagram clarify this is the local namespace, this is the built-in namespace, this is the module namespace. You might have observed, right? Whenever I imported the module, first where it will search? It will search in the local, then after it will search in the global namespace, then after it will search in the Python built-in path. You might have seen this one, right? So Python variable scope. Now we'll see what is the Python variable scope, how we need to use the Python variable scope. Although there are various unique namespace defined, we may not be able to access all of them from every part of the program. The concept of a scope comes into play. You might have seen, right? Global variables and local variables. Global variables and local variables. If you want to use the global variables, the variable name is same as the local variable name. What we need to use? In the previous example we might have seen, right? In the last class. What we have seen? The function, within the function, welcome variable is there. In the means local variable welcome is there. In the global variable also welcome message is there. Before defining the welcome in the function, I printed the welcome message on the top of the before defining only. That time what it happened? It will throw some error. After that what I did? I used the global keyboard over there. That time it print the global variable instead of local variable. You might have remember that example. Scope is the portion of the program from where a namespace can be accessed directly without any prefix. At any given moment, there are at least 3 nested scopes. A scope of the current function which has local names, a scope of the module, these 3. A scope of the first one is a scope of the current function which has local namespace. Then second one is the scope of the modules which has global namespace. And third one is the outermost scope which has built-in namespace. When a reference is made inside a function, the name is searched in the local namespace, then in the global namespace, and finally in the built-in. It will search based on the sequence. First it will search for the local namespace, then it will search for the global namespace. Third and final one is the built-in namespace. Now if you see one of the example, then you will definitely get some idea related to the scope of the variable. Now we define one of the function, outer function. This is the outer function. Outer function, this means what? This is the local variable only. This is local variable inside the inner function. This one is the global variable. This one is the global variable. You might have, if you see the function example, definitely you will understand this particular problem. And if you are, unless you are not practicing the Python programs, you are not able to understand this one. Important point, and this is apart from the concept, until unless you are not good in the first one, then don't move to the next one. See, the best example is until unless you are not good in the function, don't practice the module examples. Until unless you are not good in the variables, don't go for the assignment operators and all. So do like this way. Until, see, you must be strong in one function. Why? Because if I'm not going to explain about the function, if I come and I will explain about the DEF followed by this particular function name, how many people will understand? So you must be strong in function, then only you will understand the modules. Understanding, right, everyone? So practice. This is the only secret of getting good programmer. Here the variable A is a global namespace. Why? Because this is defined the outside of these two functions. Variable B is the local namespacing of the outer function. Why? Because this is the outer function. Function inside a function. Function inside a function they return. That's why C is the next local namespace of inner function. This is also local variable to this particular outer function. This is also local variable to inner function. and A is the global namespacing. When we are in inner function, C is a local to us. If you are there in the inner function, C is local to us. See, for example, I am here, C is local to us. B is non-local. B is non-local. Why? Because I am inside inner function. B is a outer function local scope, and A is the global. We can read as well as assigning a new value to C, but can only read B and A from inner function. If you try to assign as A value to B, a new variable B is created in a local namespace, which is different than the non-local B. Same thing happen when you using the A value to B or B value to A also. So why? Because the scope of these three are different. The C is inner function, C is local variable to this inner function, and B is local variable to this inner function, and A is global variable to all the program. So if you try to see this example, then we will get to know the output of this particular program. DEF followed by the outer function. If you give the A equal 20, DEF followed by the inner function A equal 30, print. Here I am printing A value. Here I am printing the A value. Now what is the output of this particular function? A equal to 30. Inner function. Inner function A equal to 20. What's going to happen that time? That time what's going to happen? This is related to this one, not to this one. Why? Because this is local to this inner function. This one I am printing over here. So the value is going to become the 20. Now global variable. Global variable, I am going to print the global variable. It is going to print here. Today, what we need to do? We need to do, apart from those two tasks, compiler and interpreter and identifier, and apart from these two tasks, create one module. Everyone note it down. Create a module. Create a module and import that module. In that create a module, it must be containing 4 functions. It must be containing 4 functions. Take anything, addition of 2 numbers, multiplication of 2 numbers, subtraction. Okay, take the example of calculator. Take the example of calculator. Everyone note it down. Everyone note it down. Take the example as calculator program. See all the things which are come under one of the function, and name it as a module name as a calculator. Name it as a calculator module, and import that module. And do some operation, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, everything you can need to do. This is one of the tasks you are supposed to do before attending the next class. And the second one is the namespacing. Two example on namespacing. What is the use of namespacing? Why we need to use the namespacing? What is the scope of the variables in the namespacing? You need to do these tasks before attending the next session. Okay, that's all from my side. And make sure everyone practice the n number of problems. Practice n number of problems.